You know, the Chuck Norris system means a lot to me. Number one, I go back to the very early days of the United Fighting Arts Federation. And the Chuck Norris system is it's a system of martial arts, the best in the world. And it's helped me in every aspect of my life. It's the discipline I've learned, the respect, all those things that go along with it. It's helped me in my business. It's helped me in my family life. It's helped me in my physical well-being. It's helped me be a goal setter and achieve those goals. The Chuck Norris system, and I think probably one of the biggest parts, is it's like family to me. When I go to the training conference and to the convention, and I see other black belts and those that are not even black belts yet, but they're striving for it, it's like I have an extended family all over the world. I love the Chuck Norris system. You know, I'll tell you, the thing that has driven me to stay active in the Chuck Norris system, beyond the rank of first degree black belt, really would probably boil down to goals and goal achievement. I didn't want to just stop at being a first degree black belt. To me, the martial arts, especially the Chuck Norris system, it's an art of progression. Even if you get to the point where physically, you know, as I've got older, I might not be able to do things at this stage of my life. I did that I was in my 20s and 30s. But my progression now is to teach the art and to help develop other people, to help develop the organization and the system throughout the world. And so what drives me to stay active in the Chuck Norris system of karate and the United Fighting Arts Federation is just the achievement and accomplishment of getting better and achieving my goals in life physically and mentally and spiritually in all the ways that I possibly can through the martial arts. You know, if I could go back in time and give advice to a younger me, I believe the advice I'd give myself is, number one, keep doing what I did, staying active in the art. But I think that probably the biggest advice I'd give myself would be to stay even more consistent in my training, more consistent in the self-development of the arts. The arts means so much when you can have the traditional martial arts. You can go into the weapons, you can go into the forms, you can go into the jiu-jitsu. Now you can do that through our art, through the United Fighting Arts Federation. You can go into the Krav Maga. There's so many things to learn and develop. The advice I would give myself would be do all I could to drink it all in, to enjoy every aspect of it and stay as consistent as possible. You know, I'll tell you, by the time you've been doing this as many years as I have, I originally started in the martial arts actually in 1967. That's a lot of years, 50 years ago. And I have so many memorable experiences, but one that always sticks out in my mind that I probably remember the most had to do with my then training partner and actually one of my mentors in the Chuck Norris system, and that's Mr. Doug Ingram. We were fighting in a tournament together, and we would always try to line up at opposite ends. He was taller than I was, so he would line up where he would go into the heavyweight division, and I'd line up and I'd go into the lightweight division or the middleweight division. And on this one particular day, we were standing next to each other, and we're standing in line, and he goes, "Man, I am really hungry." And I said, "Well, you're getting ready to fight in a few minutes." He goes, "Oh, well, hold my place in line." Of course, just kidding. He leaves and he comes back with a hot dog and a soda pop, a Coca-Cola. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, and all of a sudden they call his name out, as they do in tournaments. You've all heard it. And they said, "Ingram, so-and-so." And he hands me his half-eaten hot dog and his half-drank soda pop. And he goes, "Here, hold these for me." He said, "Well, I go out and fight." And I think the other guy was so intimidated by his nonchalant attitude that it was humorous. Everybody in the line started to laugh. The judge started to laugh. Doug goes out there, and Mr. Ingram just obliterates his opponent. Comes back, thanks me for hanging on to his hot dog and soda pop, and continues to eat it before his next fight. And it was just a moment where everybody in the whole ring just cracked up when they saw it. I believe competition is one of the most important parts of the martial arts. Anyway, certainly within our system, the Chuck Norris system. And I believe in competition for a couple reasons. Number one, it takes us out of our comfort zone. At the end of the day, what we're training people to do is to be able to handle themselves appropriately in a true self-defense situation. The thing competition does is it creates that adrenaline, it creates that nervousness, it makes them perform absolutely under pressure that would, to some degree, might even mimic a self-defense situation. As a matter of fact, I believe competition is so important that when I was running my own studios, which I did for years as a head instructor, I would never allow a person to test for black belt unless they had actually competed in an open tournament. Now, I was okay if the competition was forms, I was okay if it was weapons, I was okay if it was fighting, but I required at least them to do some competition, some competitive experience, and have that experience in an environment prior to testing for black belt. Very important competition. You know, the organization that we have is a very large organization, and it's getting larger. You know, the parent organization is the United Fighting Arts Federation, which encompasses the traditional art of the Chuck Norris system, which is, you know, the greatest system in the world. I mean, founded by the master of our system, Mr. Chuck Norris himself, who was the greatest fighter and greatest competitor, you know, really of all time. Then we've developed into the UFAF Krav Maga. We've developed into the UFAF BJJ. We have weapons training, knife training. We have all those things that really encompass a true martial arts experience. In the next 3 to 5 years, I see continued growth in the United Fighting Arts Federation. Our regions they've grown so much, we've had to split them into smaller regions. Now we have studios that actually, if they reach the master's rank and have gone through all the important MDS training, that they can actually hold those first-degree black belt tests within their studio. And we're growing quite a bit internationally now. I believe that over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see the United Fighting Arts Federation grow in leaps and bounds and continue to be one of, if not the very best, martial arts organization in the world.